Before the records, before the spotlight, before the world started calling him the future of football, there was just a kid in Mataró with a ball at his feet. While the world sees the highlights, the records, and the confidence, there is another side to this journey. A quieter, more complex reality that asks a deeper question. What does it really mean to grow up while the world is watching? Born on July 13, 2007, in Esplugues de Llobregat and raised in Mataró, Yamal's life began far from the global spotlight that now surrounds him. His background, shaped by a Moroccan father and a mother from Equatorial Guinea, reflects a blend of cultures that mirrors the modern face of football. But long before identity became something discussed on global platforms, it was something he lived quietly, naturally, without expectation or pressure. Football, in those early years, was simple. It wasn't about performance metrics, tactical systems, or media narratives. It was about joy, a ball at his feet, space to move, and the freedom to create. These moments, often overlooked, are where real players are formed. They build instinct, confidence, and a natural relationship with the game that cannot be replicated in structured environments. And for Yamal, this freedom became the foundation of everything that followed. There was something noticeable about him early on, not just his ability, but his comfort. Comfort with the ball, comfort in tight spaces, comfort making decisions quickly. These are qualities that separate good players from special ones. They don't just come from training. They come from understanding the game at a deeper, almost intuitive level. When he joined the academy of FC Barcelona, that natural ability met structure. La Masia is not just an academy, it is a philosophy. It teaches players how to think, how to move, how to see the game beyond the obvious. It demands discipline, awareness, and intelligence. For many young players, adapting to this environment can be difficult. It requires patience and a willingness to evolve. For Yamal, it became a process of refinement. His creativity didn't disappear, it matured. He learned when to take risks and when to maintain control, when to dribble and when to pass, when to accelerate and when to slow the game down. These are subtle decisions, but at the highest level, they define success. And even at a young age, he began to show an understanding of these nuances. What stood out most during his development was his fearlessness. Playing against older players can intimidate even the most talented prospects. The physical difference alone can be overwhelming. But Yamal approached these challenges differently. He didn't retreat, he adapted. He used intelligence, movement, and timing to compensate, turning potential disadvantages into strengths. As he progressed through the ranks, recognition followed. Coaches noticed. Scouts paid attention. Conversations began to shift. Not loudly at first, but consistently. This one is different. In football, that label carries both opportunity and pressure. Because once expectation enters the equation, the environment changes. It is no longer just about playing. It becomes about proving. Proving that the belief is justified. Proving that the potential is real. For many young players, that shift can be overwhelming. Then came the moment that changed everything. In 2023, at just 15 years old, Lamine Yamal made his debut for the senior team of FC Barcelona. It was more than just a milestone, it was a transition, a movement from development into expectation, from promise into reality. Debuting at that level, at that age, is not just rare, it is a statement of trust. It reflects belief not only in a player's ability, but in their mentality. And when Yamal stepped onto that pitch, what stood out was not his age, but his composure. He didn't look overwhelmed. He didn't look hesitant. He looked ready. That readiness is what separates talent from true potential. Because ability alone is not enough. It must be supported by mindset, by the ability to remain calm under pressure, to make decisions quickly, and to execute with confidence. As his involvement with the first team increased, so did the expectations. He became one of the youngest starters in the club's history, and with each performance, the narrative around him grew stronger. He was no longer just a prospect. He was becoming a key figure. Soon, his journey extended to the international stage, representing the Spain national football team. Once again, he made history, becoming the youngest player to debut and score. These achievements are significant, but they come with an important reality. Success brings pressure, and pressure demands consistency. For Yamal, this is where the Real challenge begins. Because maintaining performance at the highest level requires more than talent. It requires discipline, focus, and the ability to adapt continuously. Every game presents new variables, different opponents, different tactics, different expectations. Then there is the physical demand. Professional football is intense. The pace is faster, the challenge is stronger, and the margin for error smaller. Managing fatigue, avoiding injury, and maintaining performance levels are all part of the process. But perhaps the most difficult challenge is mental. The noise, the opinions, the constant scrutiny. In today's football world, players are not just judged on their performances. They are discussed, analyzed, and debated constantly. Social media, media coverage, and fan expectations create an environment that can be overwhelming, especially for a young player. And this is where Yamal's journey becomes about more than football. It becomes about identity, about staying grounded, about understanding who you are beyond the game. Because when the world starts to define you, it becomes easy to lose your sense of self. But so far, Yamal has shown signs of balance. He continues to play with freedom, with creativity, and with a confidence that reflects both his ability and his belief in himself. His style remains bold. He takes on defenders, creates opportunities, and plays with an energy that makes him unpredictable. Technically, his game continues to evolve. Operating from the right wing, his left foot allows him to cut inside, opening up angles for both shooting and passing. His dribbling is controlled, his vision improving, and his awareness growing with each performance. But beyond the technical aspects, it is his mindset that will define his future. Does he continue to play without fear? Does he maintain his confidence under pressure? Does he grow without losing the essence of what makes him special? These are the questions that will shape his career. Because in football, the difference between potential and greatness is not just talent. It is consistency over time. It is the ability to adapt, to learn, and to continue improving even when expectations are at their highest. It is still early in his journey. Too early to define a legacy. Too early to make final comparisons. But what is clear is this. Lamine Yamal is not just another young player. He is part of a new generation. A generation that is more technical, more expressive, and more fearless. A generation that is redefining what is possible at a young age. From the streets of Mataró to the global stage of FC Barcelona, his journey is still unfolding. Every match adds a new chapter, every performance a new layer to his story. And that is what makes it powerful. Because this is not a story we are looking back on. It is a story we are witnessing, in real time. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this story on Lamine Yamal, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible football journeys. Feet and no fear in his game.